Okay, so that Valentine's Day collection looks pretty nice.
Yeah.
Hit, yeah,
We're live on stream by the way, just FYI. We're not doing the show yet. We're like 15 minutes early.
yeah. We just
I just
Square for
dick
the
around
queen,
on.
right in the center, queen e5, defending the e2.
I decided to just turn it on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna copy paste the entire thing because I'm too lazy. Too lazy to give a crap. Uh, there we go. I need to get Miss Crystal's name out of here because she's not on today. Bada bing, bada bang, bada boom. Alright. Nice. That is doing.
Wow.
Wait, I'm gonna put sugar in my coffee and we can crack on this.
What, you don't drink your coffee black?
No, only certain coffees. Some of them just taste like shit.
That's her.
Who knows?
Oh,
I saw there's like a secret layer for like the Black History Month,
yeah.
and then I like I kind of want there's like one card I want out of it, and then like the Teferi's kind of like whatever for me. Didn't he get like how many times was he showcased in the secret layer? And that's like a couple times now, right?
I think so.
Because he was in. We had Teferi's protection, which was I guess. Then we had. No, he had one of the, there's 3 mana Teferi that was in the stained glass art. And now this. Which is kind of stupid in my opinion because we just had like didn't we just had like Ultimate Edition like last year? Feels weird.
We've had a few Ultimate Editions actually. No, we've had collector's editions, but yeah.
Yeah, but we
Oh, you're
had
talking about
no. I mean like Ultimate Edition. Like Ravnica.
yeah.
It was Ravnica. Um, it was Ravnica. You know what I meant. There was like three of them.
Yeah. No, it was Ultimate Edition, Secret Lair. Yeah.
Hmm.
Uh, Jesus, what is our topic? We could talk about stonks again.
Oh man, do we have to talk about stonks again?
Well, we don't have to talk about stonks again. I just
I
like
just don't
pitching the
want
idea.
to.
Uh, like I have a few things to open it up, but like without going into politics, there's a few things actually. I'm not locked in. I just gotta find something. God, what's?
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah, we didn't even think about a topic. Oh, this is cool.
Hmm.
Humans have not evolved to exercise, says Harvard professor.
No, yeah. Well, we basically we're working from home. We're stuck in our houses most of the time, and like unless you have like actual exercise equipment, you weren't allowed to go to a gym for a while. Like,
Modern world both counts measured apprentice yourself.
like I gained weight a little bit, and it doesn't feel that good.
Discretionary spell trades when we do physical activities they give health benefits. So when I go for a run today, that's exercise in the past. People had to be very physically active, right? They had to be physically active to survive. Oh yeah, this is just like breaking down how as we've invented more and more conveniences, um, our need to exercise because we don't need the extra energy and we don't need the extra, muscle and stuff has kind of diminished. Well, it's diminished excessively. And so now it's kind of there where we don't need to be active, but we choose to at times.
Yeah, but I think it's one of those cases where I think of being just con constantly being active is good. Is just good for the human body in this case.
Oh, I don't disagree with you.
Like, do you know how nice it would be to just like have a job where it's just like, oh, like I'm just gonna go grab, uh, like, like pink salt from an ocean or something, you know.
Yeah. Uh, TV, Seal Pups, Kim's Convenience Recap Tennis. Anyone? I don't even know if you watch Kim's Convenience or if I watch Kim's Convenience.
Do we have enough for a show?
Huh?
I think we have enough for a show.
Yeah.
Secret Lair is gonna take us a while anyway to get through it because it's like we have to talk about the cards and everything.
Yeah. By the way, I got my spear and the first child stigma.
Hey, congrats!
Yeah, thank you.
I didn't get the stigma, unfortunately.
It's
I've
a
been trying to,
grind.
yeah, I've been trying to, I've been rolling like a madhouse trying to get that spear. Like I might have gotten it passively, but I'm not, I wasn't even paying attention, so I might have gotten it, but I'm not even that sure.
How much money did you spend?
Nothing. That was
Oh,
all like in game.
oh.
Thank God.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, it's just. Yeah, I'll broach the secret lair topic when we start because I have some hot takes on that.
Oh. All right. Well, that's basically a show for us, I guess. There we go.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So, I'll bounce it back and forth with you because I don't want to go too much on a tangent.
Fair. Yeah, let's keep it on. We try to keep. Let's try to keep it on the thing. We actually have a good one today, 'cause especially with the banner restricted list, because that's huge. That's actually big. Like Earl being knocked out of the format.
Oh yeah, it's pushed out of the game except for Commander, but
Yeah,
I
like Arrow and Commander is just like whatever, but
yeah I'll actually brooch that one as well because again opinions, views, all that crap.
it's meh. It's whatever. It's a 6/6 for 3 that comes down too early. That's a 6/6
Uh,
for 3 that comes in way too early. Let's be real.
yeah.
Like, yeah, there's like a bunch of other shit that happens on top of that, but like, come on. Like, how many times you're not running like 38 lands?
Well, the biggest thing is like how much.
It's weird because it's like you can run a 30, like 35 lander with that, like with an Uro and just
Oh,
be okay.
I curve out under 30 land, or I curve out at like 34 lands only when
Yeah.
my colors don't especially have access
If you're
to.
only, yeah, because if you're only running like 20, or like a 2 land deck, then, or two color deck, you don't really need to go crazy on the lands.
No, but I also try to run like 6 to 8 different alternative sources to mana, so
Yeah. All
it's
right.
like
We're,
42 mana.
well, I just want to get the clap in so when if I ever do edit these things or edit these down, I
Yeah,
could probably just yeah. And this is where the show starts. The show.
we definitely need to.
We need to get a proper title.
I mean, I've been pushing Red Phoenix cast for how
Eh,
many weeks?
I think it's more. I no, it's more on me. I'm the idiot here. Or I just don't feel like
You
doing the
activated.
show.
You don't feel like doing the show?
It's not like I don't like doing the show. It's just I don't like doing the work behind the show.
Oh, we could just
I'd
get
I'd
an edit.
I'd love to pay an editor, but like I don't make enough money for that kind of thing.
As for how much does an editor cost?
Mm, could check on Fiverr. Let me check on Fiverr, see what they say. Podcast Editing. All right. Well, technically we're supposed to be live, so
That's fine. You
do,
can do this stuff
you
live.
want the intro on this one, or do you want to?
I was actually gonna bump a pop you on pitching an idea.
No.
So Crystal mentioned that, or uh, other person mentioned that we she could probably talk to a friend about getting us some music for an intro, something like a demo.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah, but
Like
that's
actual
gonna.
like that with like full copyrights and everything.
Uh, we'd probably have to work on getting the copyrights ourselves, but yeah, most likely.
Because yeah, because NDA is gonna be a real bitch because it's American.
Oh right,
Or not
yeah,
NDA, but you know what I mean.
yeah. But no, well, he'll do a custom demo for us, so
Yeah,
we'll
that'd be
have our
great.
own. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna pause Honkai right now because yeah.
No, you can play Honkai. It's fine.
Well, I don't want to be too distracted. You're gonna hear a lot of cursing if I play Honkai.
Yeah, true. True.
Gosh, darned timer.
True.
uh,
I love how like one of my streams is literally no Shinji, no life.
we
Not
going?
not to pull the shell, but you know. All right.
Yeah.
Let me make sure that I have all the secret layers pulled up on this page.
Oh shit. Oh crap. I should actually do that myself. Pull up the secret layers.
Because there's the Smitten Super Drop, which is like whatever the fuck. That's 2 days away. So that comes out. It's Wednesday today. It'll be out on Friday. Damn.
mhm.
Yeah, I'm not about it.
I don't even have the money for it, so it's like whatever.
I'm not about it.
Yeah. So I
All
get
right.
paid 2 weeks ish. One thing to touch on before we jump into it.
I guess I could call it the Red Phoenix cast.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean,
like
that
that's
works.
the title you've been pushing. I guess we could try it for a while. Like unless
I
we get a
mean,
better title, then I'm just gonna call it the Red Phoenix cast for now.
yeah. It's basically your show,
Mm. Yeah,
not
it
the
was your
Joe
guys'
troll,
idea.
not the Joe troll you're looking for. I love that. See, like I, if I Google Red Phoenix cast, like you come up 100%.
Yeah, well, duh. That's
Um,
it's a pretty distinctive title, and I'm actually kind of happy I have it now.
yeah, because you're just like, I mean, if you
Nobody can claim it
link,
now.
yeah,
Like they'd
if you
actually
link,
had to buy the title off me.
yeah, if you link the episode to on your Twitter, like that basically sells it.
Sure.
So I'm gonna be hearing myself here in a moment. So I'm the
Let's
one
get
person.
let me just get the title out of the way first.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Red Phoenix Cast episode 3. I'm here with Kevin. Kevin, say hi.
Yep.
And you got a hot take there, bud.
Indeed, I do.
Explain.
Secret layers are garbage, and why do you people keep buying these things?
I know. Oh my gosh. Okay. You know, this is the one time, you know,
Honest
it's
take.
bad when we both agree on something.
I mean, it's a pretty unanimous opinion, to be honest.
Yeah, true. Like
So
I own a couple of copies of like Secret Lair product, and boy, the howdy, the curls on that. The curl is real bad. It's real painful.
here's the hot part of it. They're also an absolutely necessary product for Wizards going forward.
Oh.
Um, because it gives them an opportunity to showcase a lot of things that they would have liked to do in a main set they could never do, or for any other reason they can't go back and re-add it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an opportunity for them to kind of adventure with their art styles, but also to kind of revitalize older cards or add some flavor to something that's a little bit more on the bland side.
I I want to agree with you on that retrospect, but I do have like some asterisks that I really want to point out. Like, there's some cards that really didn't that don't need it. Like, I'm looking at Gisela Gold, Blade of Gold Knight. Like, we've already had how many reprints of this card already before this?
Yeah, so you're not wrong.
Like, there's that. I think there's a bunch of them. Like the one that comes out to me the most that kind of irks me in a way is like like the one printing like the printing of basic lands and you only get one, like you only get 5 of them. That that gets me that kind of rubs me the wrong way because it's just why you're making a
Well,
$6 foil box of foil basic lands. Like what's the difference between this and a foil basic that I could pull out of a pack, right? Like what makes
I
that so special?
I think the big thing about it is that it's kind of um a big thing about it is like this is art that they wouldn't be selling in a main set.
Mhm.
Which, I can see their reasoning on that. It's definitely something that if you're a collector or you just like if I wanted a Jen Bartel, and that's the name that's gonna be pulled off of, well, she's not really obscure, but I wouldn't even call her obscure. She's got some fantastic art, like it's amazing stuff, and she's got her own website and stuff.
Mhm.
But how many people in Magic would know about her versus the people who now do know about her type of thing, right? Like it's kind of giving uh I guess artists who aren't as known in the community, but I would almost argue that we could have gone a step further and if Wizards this is where my hot take comes from. I think Wizards should be using this opportunity to kind of look up lesser known artists on stuff like DeviantArt and Tumblr and all that. Be like,
Yeah.
hey, like outreach. There's a lot of artists on Reddit, for example, who do alters of cards, and I think kind of
Like
reaching out to those.
I don't mean to name drop. Like I'm not gonna directly name drop. I'm only gonna direct the name drop some of the people that are really solid. Like there's a but like you could just go like even just going on Twitter just to check that out is in there's a lot of artists out there. Like if I literally googled it MTG alter cards, screw it. It yeah, like there's so many. There's so many people that are really good at this. Like just going down the list, like there's a Madrilth of the Great Tide of like, but it's like, uh, what's the what's the Muppet that lives in a garbage can?
Uh, God,
You know what I mean?
yeah. Muppet that lives in the trash is Oscar the Grouch.
Okay, so there's a Madrilth of the Grave Tide, which is basically Oscar the Grouch, which is
Yeah.
cool. There's from some mono cards, there's like Tezzeret the Seeker and Karn Liberated, but it's the brothers from Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Like
Uh,
there's a ton of these. Like I swear, you could just literally go on Twitter, punch in like MTG card alters and go and just run that list down. It's insane.
yeah. Even on Etsy, there's a lot of good stuff there, and it's just
Yeah.
like, oh, there's a really nice island and mountain one with a volcano for the mountain and and like an ocean. Really, what is it? The ocean is like really um wavy and stuff, and like it's all one picture when you put them side by side.
Mhm.
Like the fact that there's people like this, right, that exist online. Um,
Oh, that's great. It's fantastic.
yeah, yeah. I personally feel like these are the
Like
people that
even
should be
even the better
getting.
ones that are, even the ones that are like really cool. Like there's like altars where it's just like an inner sleeve, but
Yeah,
it changes the border and like the art and everything, but the text remains the same.
yeah. And my thing with it is, oh, there's a Patrick Starfish one of Sigil Starfish. Um,
Yeah, I knew that. Yup, yup.
yeah,
We knew that was coming. You know how
yeah.
many times everybody's called that thing Patrick Scryfish?
Oh, I could see it.
Dude,
I can see.
it's happened so many damn times. It's like not even funny.
Yeah, so I guess we should kind of before we go any further. Secret Lair is a drop
Yep.
set from. It's basically it's basically like loot boxes from Wizards, except what you're getting is what you're getting. Not you have to roll for it. It's not a gotcha roll. It's an
Hmm.
actual you get this.
You buy the
Uh,
product, you get the product ish.
yeah. So the first time these came out, there was a point of contention by a lot of speculators that because Wizards are doing this, if somebody in power took notice, there would be hell to pay because they're basically admitting that they could print singles of each card and that the packs are just them intentionally disregarding gambling laws.
Hmm.
So nothing came of that. Obviously, card games are still considered children's things, so yay for that.
I don't know, man. Like when they say children's thing, I feel like that's like incorrect in a sense
Oh,
because
it's 100%.
I
Go ahead.
I disagree. Like if you look at the packaging, it's like I think it's like it's like set for like 10 plus or something.
Uh,
Like not everybody's like picking up this game like Dana Fisher, dude. Like I hate to name drop.
yeah,
I hate to name like I didn't mean to name drop her by any means this time, but like I'm pretty sure the rating for this game was like 10 or something. And
13
she's
plus.
13 plus. All right, so she's 4 years early.
Oh, she started when she was 6. She's 7 years early.
Oh yeah, she's 7 years. Shit.
Yeah.
And she's playing like Legacy, dude. Like Legacy.
She's playing modern and she's playing elves, and yeah, she's one of the best players in the world, which is wow.
Why? Like how?
Her
Like
dad taught her, and I don't know her. Like her dad didn't force her as a thing. Like I want to get that out of the way. Her dad didn't force her into the situation. She just like she
yeah,
wanted to learn, and
the Fisher family kind of just had it. So no, I respect the Fisher family for sure.
yeah.
It's just one of those things that I just was not expecting to be like, oh hey, you know, like I'm 6 years old. I want to learn how to play Magic, and all of a sudden I'm 10. Like next thing you know, I'm 10 years old and I'm entering tournaments. Like 10 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, no. A couple years ago, she
That's
actually won
scary.
one. I think. Yeah,
Did she? For real?
yeah.
Huh.
I'm gonna check. The Magic Grand Prix, Austin last month. So, how long ago was this article? 10-4-1. This is February, 2020, which should tell you something.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
it's
she's doing
probably
it.
an online tournament. Like
No.
I'm not disagreeing. Like I'm not trying to downplay the fact, but it's like it's an online tournament. I know that for a fact.
No, she was at MTG Austin.
Right before everything kicked off.
Yeah, she was the youngest player to win cash at a GP. She ended 10-4-1 in 46.
Shit,
Peaked
that's
at
fucking great.
13th and ended won the play forward play map for the top female player. And she has more GP2 day twos than her father. I mean,
Fuck, if
it's-
that's how that's gonna be, I'm scared of what my kid's gonna be like. Oh my god. Like, imagine if I had a kid, and that's like, it's a magic prodigy. It's not a kid, it's a magic prodigy right there. No joke.
oh yeah.
I'm
Like
scared.
my experience, like especially with how it's helped kind of helped me is magic is a really good way for people who are ahead of the curve to kind of like develop better problem solving skills, right? Like you start seeing things from different perspectives a lot more because you're just like, well, what about this and this and this, right?
Mm.
Like, I don't know. I just, for me personally, I found that it helps me think ahead because a lot of people do make the mistake of thinking in the turn, right? It's just like, well,
Hmm.
um, but yeah, 14 hours ago
It's
she
one of those
did.
things you have to think about all available
4,
options, and that's
3,
like how to be
2,
a really good magic
1.
player, is being able to think
Engage.
about. You're looking for like statistical value versus like. There's a lot to this game. It's kind of insane. Like it's kind of insane that we're actually like massive brain when we actually play this game.
And then when you get out of the game, you're monkey brains.
It's such small brain.
Fuel scooping.
I mean, name dropping Connor. Sometimes, he actually had a really good hot take. I like it. I agree with it. When you're being entertained by media, you just want a monkey brain. You don't want to think about it. And I agree with it to a degree. I think media that makes you think afterwards is just as valid. But for the most part, it's kind of like, do you? Uh, sorry, I'm yelling a lot here.
That's fine.
Um, but do you kind of like go a step beyond and think about it during
Return
the
to
time,
monkey.
right?
Sorry, I'm having like a return to monkey meme joke kind of playing in my head.
Oh,
Return to monkey.
I mean, yeah,
It's not
this is
wrong. That's the problem.
yeah, like this is the thing is. Oh, wow, that's a bit much. Anyways, it's the thing with it is we're like 90% in monkey brain anyways, right? Like most
Oh
days
yeah, no,
people
no,
just
no.
want to yeah, most days people want to save all the thinking for like when you have to do work or when you have to actually like
No,
apply
it's
it
that we
during
have the
a
beauty
task,
of
right?
being able to not pass, like, actively think about. Once we have a certain task done and it's just become like repetitive nature, like it gets to the point where it's just, oh hey, like I turn brain off. I don't have to like think about what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like for me it's like washing dishes. Like washing dishes, like you don't think about it anymore. Like you don't actually like think about it. You kind of just do. Like it's kind of just it just happens. You know?
Yeah, like
System
it's
scan
that's
complete.
exactly it. You just it happens and you don't really care, right?
Yeah. And that's
I mean,
kind of the thing is that you're just not having to think about that what's next in that. You're just going around and basically, hey, I don't need to use a lot of thought into this versus, hey, I actually need to give this a
Frameshift
lot
drive
of thought.
charging.
You know what I mean? Like if you play
yeah,
like there's some parts of Magic like I'd say the first like in a commander game, I'd think the first 2 to 3 turns you don't have to think about.
4,
It's like
2,
the first turn it's like
1.
Land Soul
Engage.
Ring, maybe a Signet go.
oh no, I go full fucking big brain on it.
Oh,
Um,
dedicate all their resources to like to it. No, but the thing is like you need your brain to like because you're not only I think in my opinion I
Fuel
think
scooping
that
complete.
you don't have to think about the first few turns about of like a commander game. because you don't
No,
need to
it's not.
dedicate all those resources to something like that. Versus like, say, let me put it in perspective of like, say like Elite Dangerous, like the first couple of minutes of playing Elite Dangerous, like you learn so much. You have to learn like everything, and it's not just like, oh hey, I could just pilot a ship. It's like, what do I need to do? What resources do I need to gather? What do I need to do for this? What do I need to do for that? Right? Like that's like the gist of it, and that's like the crazy part is the amount of thinking that you need to do versus the amount of thinking you need to do later in the game. It scares in a variation. I think the more you play Elite Dangerous, the less you have to think about it. But the more you play, the longer you play Magic, the more you have to think about it because it's not. I think it's what you're thinking about, right? It's never like it's never about like the
Well,
small things. You when you start like remember when you started out, like you had to learn every single mechanic in the world.
yeah, and we're still doing that today.
Like yeah, like because they always come up with new mechanics, but like most of them are pretty freaking obvious. Like you just based it on kicker. Like
Yeah.
like the I hate to credit the joke to Jason Alt here, but no joke. I think the line of like every single ability is just kicker, but something else but in a different form is not a wrong statement. Like if we look at Fortel, it's just kicker. The kicker's time.
I mean, you could apply the same logic to
System scan
God,
complete.
Enter the battlefield triggers are just a kicker for kicker for a really for a very expensive creature.
see, I think it kind of comes down to kicker is kind of you have to pay the cost at the time, which kind of like
It
affects.
if you really think about it, but like if you really think about it, like ETBs are kickers for creatures that are more expensive.
I mean, yes and no.
Like,
Reclamation Sage, for example.
but it's a 2/1. The average converted mana cost for a 2/1 is usually like 2 or something, right?
Yeah, it's fair. Usually
So
one or two,
so
depending upon
it's a mana, but like for a mana you get an ETB for an extra mana you get an ETB that shatters.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's kicker. Like that's almost kicker in my opinion.
Well, it brings up another issue with just how powerful cards are getting nowadays too.
Yeah.
Because something like Rex Sage would have been fine on maybe like a 4 or 5 drop.
Charging.
Oh yeah.
But we're
No,
so
tons.
used to seeing those 2 and 3 drops with high value, right? Like Arrow is an example of this.
Uro,
Pop,
Oko, I'd say I'd
yeah,
throw like
Ready to
I'd
engage.
to throw it back a
4,
couple of years. I'd say
3,
Scoos. I'd throw
2,
that in the list. Like it's
1.
not the same power
Engage.
level at all. Like not even close.
yeah,
But I would say Scoos is like on that same list. Because the amount of shit he does for like a single mana, for an extra mana,
yeah.
like, dude, that ability is just multi-kicker, dude.
Like it's a repeatable extra mana is a problem, right? Like you can time it perfectly and everything. Like there's no restriction on how long it would take to activate.
Sorry, I just coughed on my
Mm.
coffee. Oof.
Oh damn, you all right?
Yeah, I'm good. Damn.
Like you look at a card like Defiant Salvager, who's just like, well, you can sacrifice creatures and artifacts to me, but you can only do it at this specific time.
Mm-hmm.
System scan.
And
complete.
it's just like, well, okay, then
I hate to
I'll
say it, but it's like that's basically kicker.
yeah. But like, there's no additional cost to it. It's just wait until this specific time to do this specific thing, and then, uh, do your thing. Which is not a flaw in the card's design. It's just like, well, that's the best way they could optimize it without making the card completely broken.
Yeah.
Frame shift drive charging.
Versus like Uro, which they optimize it really fucking hard.
Yeah.
Like
And like,
It earned like yeah, it's its mythic status. It definitely earns its mystic status, and then some. Like holy shit, dude.
Ready to
Like
engage.
good god. Like
like
what?
for combo pur-
3,
yeah, for combo purposes, Marionette Master is just a better Grave Titan.
You're not wrong.
That's a really hot take. But yeah, I know I'm
No, no,
not.
no.
I
You're
just
not
like,
wrong. That's actually really good because like Marionette Master's freaking dumb.
yeah, because oh look, I create 3 artifacts, or you can make me bigger, and that's for 6 mana. And
Dude, you could
somebody
loop
might.
that. No, I kid you not. You could loop that with like an Ashnod's Altar and a Nin's Death Mantle. Ooh, actually.
That's a combo in one of my decks actually.
Ashnod's Nim Death Mantle plus like anything that makes to an extra creature or two.
Well, no, he makes 3 creatures, so he's already better than Grave Titan. Just
Still.
by sheer numbers. Like, fine, he doesn't get them on attack, but a lot of the time when you're playing Grave Titan, you're doing it because you want to combo off.
Yeah, you're gonna find a way to combo.
Yeah, if you're
So
using Grave
I should
Titan,
probably pick up a Grave Titan now that I think about it.
if you're using a Grave Titan as like a way to just kind of sit there with tons of creatures, you're not doing it wrong per se. But
No,
I'd
like
argue,
I'm thinking of like a way to make that work because there's like a bunch of creatures that I could use it for.
yeah. But like, yeah, there's even I think a 3 or 4 drop that actually created an additional guy back in Ikoria. And again, you could do the Nim Death Mantle combo, but you need the Blood Arts just the same as you need the Blood Arts with the Grave Titan, right? Um and that's kind of where it is too. Marionette Master says whenever an artifact would die, your opponents each lose life equal to
Frame shift
Marionette Master's
required.
Oh
power.
right, because it's the enabler. It's the part of the engine it's the payoff to the engine.
Yeah, like that's the thing. He's payoff. He's enabler.
We should probably pick one
4,
up.
3,
Yeah,
2,
he's a really good card, but that's at 6 mana. And like I expect at 6 mana that I think somebody else actually said it too. Is at 6 mana, I would be hoping that the card can end the game, or at least get me close enough to ending the game that basically all the heavy lifting's done. Um,
fuel scooping.
Whereas at anything cheaper, you're just kind of looking for
Fuel
card
scooping
advantage.
complete.
I'm sorry. Her Share of the Void is really distracting me here. It's frustrating as hell to kill.
The
Just
power
die.
of waifus, man. The power of waifus.
Yeah, Memorial Arena is gonna destroy me this week. I know it.
Yeah, we'll team up. We'll team up later, and I can help you out with some of that stuff.
Memorial Arena is
I
actually.
have a double SS now,
solo-
so we can probably take that down.
Oh no, Memorial Arena's the single player thing.
Oh, for real? Shit.
Yeah,
Lame.
yeah, that's why she's frustrating the crap out of me. Because if I could have teammates, this would be done. Yeah, like I said, 6 mana, it's really good. I honestly, uh, if we had a lot better stuff at the higher levels of mana, I'd be fine with it because it's kind of like it demonstrates where the power level should be, right? Whereas a lot of design, in my opinion, has kind of like missed the mark on why that level of CMC is there.
I see. Yeah, yeah.
I'm
Sir,
not even gonna do it.
but that's the thing, right? Like Marionette Master. I think there's a lot of creatures in that 6 CMC slot that are just like basically. I think it's basically it's either end the game or really close to end of the game. Like there's a couple of five. I know there's a couple of fives, but a couple of fives. Like I'd say Gary's on the same list. The reason why I have Gary in that list is because it's a combo piece.
Yeah,
Because Gary at 5 is you can one shot the table. just by loop.
Yeah, if you get the loop off, definitely.
Because that's also why I have like another, like I have a really weird ass card.
Oh, you gotta show me later.
Yeah.
Um,
But
yeah, like
I think Marionette Master, anything that can just come in and out of play with a Perforos is dumb. I think
yeah.
there's like a bunch of other ones. Like in red, you get really lucky because you get like impact tremors and stuff like that. But like, I think in just straight like if you're playing just like mono black or green black, you're gonna have to rely on some ETBs to make that work.
Well, and the prof actually released a really funny video about White's place in the color pie, I guess, and how green is basically stealing from everybody, and it's not wrong. Because as it stands, there's a new Simic commander, who makes serpents and keeps
Yeah.
making serpents.
But he makes
And
the problem is he only makes serpents on your upkeep.
no, he makes it on everybody's upkeep.
Oh.
Yeah. And he can basically stop your opponents
So-
from attacking, and yeah.
So he's like a better. God dang it! What's the green creature from Ixalan that did the same thing?
I
I swear it was like one of them.
think so. I can't remember. Oh, you're talking about the one that creates sapperlings on your upkeep. Yeah.
On everybody's
There's-
upkeep, yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. One's just like
One
I
just
think
one
once-
just does it. The other one gives it like a 2/2 buff. When you have enough. We have enough permanents.
well, they both do it, but one's higher CMC by like 2.
Yeah.
Which is a really weird place for the game or for just everybody to be in general. That 2 CMC is what kills a card's viability anymore. Like, damn,
Yeah.
we're doing our cards dirty now.
Wouldn't be the first time. But like, getting back on the secret lair thing. Getting back on the secret lair. I honestly, there's a lot of the cards that I think that need to be on that list, and there's a lot of the cards that need to be off that list. There's really, I'm with you at that. There is a really good potential to put cards that are not particularly high, that either have a high reprint, like that just need a reprint. Like
There's
just desperately need a reprint. Like there's so many damn cards that desperately need a reprint. But like
Yeah,
there's so many cards that you look at it and I'm like, why did you reprint this? Like there's 1.5 million other cards, you reprinted this, why?
Yeah, and you're not wrong. My biggest thing about it is like it's a great opportunity too, as well, to showcase lesser known artists, right? And I think a lot of people who are trying to get their start would like that opportunity.
Oh yeah, no. Totally.
Like I think the brand association is fine. I've never heard somebody say, "Oh yeah, I don't want to be associated with this brand. I think it will ruin my reputation," because I mean, certain brands, sure. But for the most part, it's just like, well,
it's surprising because like over the years, like even Magic's gotten a slightly bad rap.
I mean, Wizards isn't exactly masters of social awareness.
True, that's true.
They've kind of crapped the bed, so to speak, on that one.
Yeah, like we knock them because we want them to do better, but we also got to give them the praise when they actually do something good.
Yeah, like, and they can do good. I think Magic as a game is as much a
it's as much an experience as anything else.
Yeah, I think it's as much means to make money as it is to do good, and I think the onus has to be on the company that owns a brand to kind of demonstrate that, right?
Fuel scooping complete.
That said, like, don't politicize my card game. Um,
Yeah, that's a that's a biggie.
yeah,
That's a real biggie for me is the fact that they decided to politicize a card game.
yeah. I think there's a time and place, and that's kind of where it's got to be. Um, as it stands, like it's fine. You're not, as long as you
It's
like
not
recognize.
damaging, but it's just like it's really like why?
System scan complete.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, no, I just think I agree with you. Secret Lair, the cards. There are some cards that need to be on that list, and cards that need to be pulled off because they've been reprinted to hell or in back or
Yeah,
what have you.
basically.
I think they need to adjust with theming as well, because it seems to me, anyways, that they're kind of throwing anything at the wall at this point.
Well, to be fair, we said that last year.
Yeah, but like,
I don't. I can understand with the secret layers. It's just like, hey, we're taking external themes that are not usually in our
Frameshift drive
wheelhouse and
charging.
trying something, and like that's good. Like that's good. Don't get me wrong. Like that's great, fantastic, well done. Like 10 out of 10.
yeah,
I, but the problem with that, I think,
Ready to engage.
is
4, 3.
if you dedicate way
1.
too much resources
Engage.
into something like Secret Lair, you're kind of losing out on the aspect of like what the Magic brand was at that time. And you kind of have to go back and like yeah, like yes, you had a checkered past history of like having broken cards and
Fuel
and like having formats that
System scan
would
complete.
break on an
Fuel scooping
instant and
complete.
like decks that used to be like I basically 3 card Monty half the time.
oh yeah,
But like at that same factor, you have to also think about, hey, people still play this game. Like we can't discount the fact that people will still play this game no matter if ands or
Frameshift
buts
drive
about it.
charging.
Like I will bitch and whine and complain about how fucking arena is so boring to play. But I'll still grab my plat rank, like, cause it's free freaking money. It's literally
Frameshift
free real
drive
estate.
charging.
yeah. Uh,
Like
I
if I
mean,
really
there's
wanted to go
been,
for diamond, I would actually play like an actual tier 1 deck, not just like Soul Sisters.
that's wanting to
4,
spend money too, right?
3,
Like,
2.
I think the reality with Arena is because the economy's so bad, you kind of have to find that middle
I
ground where
just
you're.
don't give it. I just don't give a shit. I play Soul Sisters. I play one deck, play the flat. As soon as I see plat 4, I'm happy.
I've tried to go for diamond, and it's a fight.
Yeah.
Um, but no, you're right. Like it's at this point, it's how much do you want to put into it versus how much should you put into it, type of thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's
I
like
think the take.
I can understand like Janet Amari or Z-Bags or like Air Bubbles or like all these like content creators that make content for like CFB or um I don't I don't think Air Bubbles is sponsored by CFB. I'm not sure actually. Could probably look that up. But I can understand for them it's for them it's like, we're making content. We want to put out new deck lists and do all of this stuff. And that's understandable, but it's just like for someone like me who isn't particularly famous. Let's be honest with ourselves. I don't
Hmm.
have I don't have the following of like a Belle like I don't have the Belle Delphine following, or I don't have like a Jessica Nigiri following or something like that. I don't have the numbers for that. I know that for a fact. It's like you don't have to tell me that. But at the same time, and I respect the fact that the people that like will like to watch my content, and there's a few. It's a surprising amount. will watch the content for what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like, you want to see me rant? Like, I think there's a video on YouTube that I put up that was like
System
me going
scan
on like a
complete.
12 and 3, 12 and 3, no, 12 and 2 on Soul Sisters from like Silver 4 to Plat 4.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was fucking dumb. It was dumb. It was a 9-win streak, and I was really happy by the end of that. Like, can I replicate it? Probably, maybe. It wouldn't be that hard. Like, it wouldn't be that hard for me to replicate. But it's just like, would I put in the time and effort to make that happen? Probably
Yeah.
not. Like, if I like. Because that's the thing with Arena for me. It's just, the reason why I don't like Arena, it is so easy
Frameshift drive charging.
to like, it is so easy to say, I could put like an 85 to 90% win rate
Ready to engage.
and like basically
3,
lie.
2, 1. Engage.
Yeah.
Because it is so easy to make a clickbait title that says 90% win rate on this specific deck. I don't care. That's not the content I want to be making, and that's not the content I want to watch. Because I just don't. When I see 90% win rate, that seems really too good to be true.
Oh, it's feasible. You just got to get the magical Christmas land all the time. The arena shuffler's garbage. Like,
Yeah, I know, but like everybody's complaining about that. Like, what else is new?
Yeah.
Like, excuse me.
that kind of
The-
like touches on the point.
I dislike the fact. The one thing that really bugs me, it's not lying per se. Like, you're not telling the truth about it. And that's what gets me. It's like, you're not willing to put in. I wouldn't say you're not willing to put in the time and effort, because you put in time, you put in effort to make decks happen. I'll give you credit for that. But to go out with a clickbait title and say, "Hey, I'm doing a 90% win rate on this deck, and it's one time,"
Yeah, it's
and
well,
then you're taking a small sample size, a very small sample size, I might add, of maybe 3 games tops, and calling a 90 and calling a near 100% win rate is, in my opinion, the biggest level of bullshit. I want to call it out. I'll call it out. And here's why. If you can get a 65% win rate, 56%. Sorry. If you can get a 56% win rate, that's on the same level as Pro Tour winners. Not just players that play on the Pro Tour, people who win Pro Tours. 56. That's the number to beat. If you can get better than that, you will smash Pro Tours. But you want to know what's the craziest thing about it? That 56% is over thousands of games. Like, thousands. Like,
Yeah,
think about, like, you have to think about it. Like, how many games has LSV played?
oh,
per year.
probably enough. Wow.
Per year.
With or without testing.
Like, with or without testing. Yeah, exactly. Because the recorded number versus the number he probably plays is fucking ridiculous. The recorded number is already ridiculous. Like, how much time does he put into testing with just Team CFB alone? I could probably go ask him.
Probably.
But it's like he probably doesn't even know. He probably lost count years ago.
The thing with it is, go ahead.
The thing with it is the reason why, and this is the reason why I don't like this whole 90% win rate. Like, oh here, let me flaunt my shit. Is not because hey, you know, you created a deck that was really good. Like, congratulations, you made a really good deck. I understand. But to go out and say you can get a 90% win rate is a little sus to me. Actually, no, that's not a little sus. It's a lot sus. There's,
See the vibe. Go ahead.
but like that's the crazy kicker about this whole entire thing is that you can't. I don't like being deceived, and that feels
Mhm.
deceptive to me. But you had a point that you wanted to get across.
Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah. So when I started out my Magic career, I wanted to be the guy who broke out in Standard and was going to events and stuff. And when a qualifier came to Calgary, like I went into it with a deck I'd basically built on my own. Hadn't even tested it. So that's my folly.
But no,
But
everybody does that. You'll have that one time you're like, I'm gonna go smash a pro tour. Oh, this deck is so broken. You know, it smashes everybody at the F and M. You know, you're gonna have one. Like, you're gonna go through. Like,
Fuel
people will
scooping.
go through that phase.
Fuel scooping complete.
That's it.
well, no, my thinking was, it's a new mechanic, and I'm gonna see if I can break it in this event, yada yada. But like at the end of it, I'm just like, well, okay, the mechanic wasn't that great, and I was basically hedging my bets on something that was untested at the time. Like I kind of expected it too. But that said, like my other deck
System scan
had a pretty decent
complete.
win rate. It was basically like, I can beat the top deck in the format uh by a
But you
wide
can't
margin,
beat the
but
field.
well that's a God, just leave me alone. Uh
Sorry.
oh no, it's this fucking boss.
That's fair. To
I
give
told
you guys some context, he's playing Honkai Impact third. I'm playing Elite Dangerous right now. I'm just flying around and scanning systems for the sake of getting money on this.
uh
This is what we do. It's just like we're like we do things that are like the most like mundane thing, so we can think about
yeah,
other things. Like this
yeah.
is how our brains work. It's
Monkey
insane.
brain time.
Yeah, like full on monkey. Return to monkey.
Frameshift drive
But
charging.
yeah, no, it's I had a pretty decent win rate against the top decks. With my other decks, I was just like, well, okay, I'm probably decent at building decks because I built outside the meta and I can do
4,
this and
3,
all that silly
2,
stuff.
1.
But
Engage.
me being basically a newbie to the game,
Mm-hmm.
I was basically fighting against I was fighting against people who had been playing that game for like years and years, right?
Yeah.
So I couldn't Dana Fisher my way into onto the scene. Let's be honest.
Fuel
Dude,
scooping.
like I'm not gonna
Fuel
lie,
scooping complete.
Dana Finisher's built different, for real, no joke.
Well, she's a smart kid. That's the thing.
And yeah, no, I don't disagree with you. That's why I said she was built different. Like
Yeah,
that's the hard hitting truth of it. It's just, hey man, like, dude, she's built different.
yeah. Like I'm not too upset about not taking the prize for that because it's like, well, it's the first of many events.
Yeah.
I eventually got out of standard anyways, but just like and
I
uh,
honestly I don't like standard at all.
it's
I
not
try
a
to
good.
play. I play once.
Frameshift drive charging.
I hated the deck that rotated. I hate decks that rotate. Like, if you build a deck for, like, I'd say a good 150 bucks, and then it's, like, worth
4,
nothing.
3,
Yeah.
Like,
One.
it feels bad. Like,
Engage.
you feel so bad. And it, like, I built... I remember Kaladesh Standard. This
Oh,
wasn't
God.
this was not a great deck. It, like... I don't know what it is, but I feel like the decks that I like to play are
Fuel
never,
tanking
like,
complete.
actually good decks. They're like... They're not like they don't have the best win rate at all. They're never the, like, top tier of the meta. It's just, oh hey, what kind of level of garbage can I put together today?
Mm.
Like, sure, this is trash tier, but it's my little happy trash tier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excuse me. But and that's the
No,
thing. Is I think I'm happy with that. I understand.
yeah, it's finding contentment within it, right? Just like you don't have that expectation for yourself to be breaking formats or anything like that. You just kind of like to live with it.
Like, you have the one deck that's like, oh hey, if I play my cards right, I do fucking retarded amounts of damage. Like, I think the number was sitting in the thousands when I was done.
Oh, jeez.
It was electrostatic pummeler, by the way.
Okay.
So you know, it's
Oh,
not
yeah,
hard to tell.
Yeah. Yeah. No, like I said, it's I gotta go here. Asteroids up. So at the end of the day, it's do what you enjoy and all that stuff, and
I think Aaron Campbell said it best: build a deck that makes you feel something.
yeah.
And
Oh,
like
feel
I think we're like that's slowly becoming the deck principle that I'm like going with, because I'm not gonna lie, it feels like when you hold a deck that is like, it may be oppressive to your friends or anything. Like, I do apologize for you guys, like, because Kevin, like, I feel kind of bad,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, like, how many times, like, I might I'm not the only, like, I don't just dunk on you guys. I get dunked on by you guys, like, all the time. So this is like, this is nothing to us.
Yeah.
Like, when I went set out to build my Marin deck, like, that was the intention in mind. Like, I want to build a deck that I'm proud of. I don't care if it's like dummy oppressive, and it's like, oh, some new kid, like some new kid can't run in, pick it up, and just jam. Like, no, the deck's for me. Like, I'm building this because I'm greedy for my own greed. Like,
Yeah.
and I think, even though it's not the most, I wouldn't say it's the safest way of saying, hey, like, you know, I want this, that, and the other thing. But I think it's not a bad idea to say, hey, there's nothing wrong about building a deck for yourself.
Well, you should always build something that makes you comfortable, right?
No, and I think I think you should always build a deck that makes you happy. Like,
Yeah.
for me, it's something stupid. Because at the end of the day, it's for me, it's like, how many times can I get a close game with a dumb deck?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh no, I pub stomped my friends for the 15th time in a row, or like, or you know, like the blue green deck that I played.
Yeah.
That you've seen me. I didn't play that game. I honestly did not play that deck to win. I played the deck to be stupidly show off, overtly like opulent,
System scan
and being
complete.
an absolute dink. And
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. That deck
Dink
is
it, right?
fun. That deck is fun as hell.
You wanted to monkey brain and Simic. That's it.
Well, I wouldn't say monkey brain because it's not really monkey brain. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does
But
require some
it's
effort.
definitely a deck where, you know, I'm not here to just sit here and twiddle my thumbs and do nothing. I'm either gonna win this game by a landslide, or I'm gonna lose it in style.
Good strategy.
Yeah, exactly. And like that's kind of the thing. It's just like with Marin, it's either I'm gonna be oppressive as shit, and I'm gonna feel good about myself about doing such a thing,
Yeah.
or I get 3v1 focused and I don't care. Like take on
You're
this.
having
It's the take on the world deck. Give me your best shot. I'll take it.
yeah.
And that
But
it's the
living,
same for Marin. It's the same for Sisay. Like Sisay is probably one of the best ones because that some of the games. Like I swear, I've had like some of the closest matches with Sisay. I've had some real close matches with Hannah.
yeah.
Like fuck, man. But like at the end of the day, like to wrap this up in a nice little bow is build something for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. That's basically the moral of the story. Just do what you want to do. Don't let
Don't let some random deck builder to tell you what to build.
yeah.
What there's no right answer. There's no wrong answer here. There's just it's a shade of gray that nobody else is seeing.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. And if
Uh
anybody tells you otherwise, is you don't have to pay them attention. They don't pay you for they don't pay you to give them advice for you to. So I don't know. Um, let's touch on the banner restricted list because we just went over an hour.
yeah. Yeah, oh geez, that, yeah. So Earl is getting
The axe.
banned against all formats basically at this point. Legacy, Vintage, Historic, Pioneer, Modern. It's basically at the point where his only place to stay is in Commander, and I'm sensing vacancies are going to get very limited there very soon. The reason being is he's a lot of advantage, and even if you don't build around him, he's still okay. Well, you know, the speed of sound type of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
He hits the board, he nets you advantage, and then the next time you see him, he's gonna come out of the graveyard and be like, "Hey, here's more advantage." Um, so it's a strong card. In Commander, he's not super powerful, but in other formats, he's just like you're either gonna
He's
win
dummy
with him
consistent.
or yeah. He's dummy consistent. He makes decks super consistent too. Is a problem. Like you can run him in basically any deck, just splash the colors, and he wins games.
Sorry, I'm trying to
Which,
find the thing. It's kind of buried in the lead.
oh yeah, they kind of like just left it as
Docking
there's
request
also this thing
denied.
that's gonna happen, and just like wouldn't you want to make that a more relevant topic? Like sure, secret layers, but yeah,
Where
you
did they
know.
put this? Because I don't see it.
It was all over Reddit for it's all over Reddit right now. I don't
Can
know if
you
they've
shoot me the link? So I can take a look at this.
yeah yeah.
'Cause
I'll give you
I
a second
cannot find
here.
it. I was looking all over for this and I can't find it.
Is it? Did Saffron Oliver or somebody not report on
Docking
it?
request denied.
Probably not. I don't know. I haven't heard anything from it. I haven't heard. I wasn't listening to the podcast, so I don't know yet.
Oh no, there's
Uh,
it's. Give me a second. I gotta give this guy a thumbs up. You give me a thumbs up. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Thank you. I can tab out.
Closest thing right now I'm getting right now is podcast 315. Did Tibble break magic? And that's kind of random.
I wouldn't say Thibaut.
Oh, there it
Oh,
is.
man.
Found it.
Yeah.
February 10th. We are planning to ban Arrow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was in the Secret Lair update. That's dumb.
Yeah. Like I said, I think those things should be kept separate because it's just like,
That's
well,
bigger news. That's actually a lot bigger news than the Secret Lair. You buried the
yeah.
they buried the lead on that. That's like, come on, guys.
I think they were trying to like say, oh well, this isn't a big thing. Also, Secret Lair. It's just like, well, no, this is a pretty big thing because this
That's
affects
huge.
people. Yeah,
You're
it affects people. Go ahead.
you're trying the thing with this is okay. So here's kind of the main reason why he was banned. And like he's getting like if he does get the accent modern, he's getting a huge accent modern. Is because the decks are just formulatedly going to be basically Uro piles. Like it's like a play set of it's like a play set of Uros, and then your 20 lands, a play set of Uros, and like 36 other cards.
Yeah, usually your 36 other cards are going to be Ugin in that because
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like,
well, the ability to curve.
yeah, you
Go
just
ahead.
go. The ability that you have is like land, maybe like you can play land and just go off and play like you could in essence curve into a turn one arrow. You could. You physically could.
Yeah, but the ability to curve out in Tron is now significantly improved because like Earl's just fast, and he gets your Tron lands down pretty fast too. So yeah,
Docking request granted.
that's the thing. Like Earl is way too much value on the stick.
Mm-hmm.
I get the same issue they had with Oko. And somebody
it was a planeswalker that comes down way too early, does way too much for way little mana.
Landing gear
Yeah.
deployed.
And the only time he's not oppressive is in Commander, where he's just a freaking annoying little shit.
Yeah, I mean that's basically his role.
That's like, hey,
Docking
nice
successful.
Commander.
Engines
It
disengaged.
would suck if it wasn't elk. You
What
know?
did yeah.
I wish
Yeah,
I had a
no.
microphone in front of me so I could just be like really close up on the mic. It's just like that would suck if it turned into an elk.
Trying to ASMR the podcast.
No, it's more like threatening, but you know.
Oh yeah. Yes, that's what we should do is threaten our viewers.
It's not an actual threat, guys. Come on.
No. I'm just ribbing you on it. It's
Yeah,
it's.
true. But
Uh,
that's kind of how I was looking. That's how I'm feeling about this. It's there's so much to this that I feel like there's just a lot to this that I feel like Uro just makes decks just turn into gigantic like 60 card Uro piles and just is like cool. Well, nice. Well done. We did it, kids. Let's whoo. So how about them Jets, right? But in all honesty, I think that if you're going to be making a deck that requires you to be playing it, the forced decks of having to sit there and play 4 of this specific card or 4 of this specific card is just, and you can't really diversify from that, is dumb.
Yeah.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's just dumb. There's no reasoning behind. Hey, I can't play hate bears anymore because, like, for me, I can't play hate bears anymore because humans, it's just a better hate bears deck.
Yeah.
I can't play D&T. Like, I could try and play D&T.
Oh, you could definitely play D&T. The question is how successful you'd be with it.
Not very well. I think the win rate right now is like near 40s or something retarded. I can't remember.
Yeah. Well, just like that artifacts only deck in modern Affinity, like it will always be around, but it's kind of it's not. I don't want to say it's never a major contender, but it's kind of like it's an anomaly in the system.
Yeah.
It exists and then it stops being relevant, and then it starts being relevant and stops being relevant.
Yeah, that's the thing with that, and you basically hit the nail on the head on that. It's just there is so much to that there's so much to that card just alone that there's no particular reason to run any other card.
Yeah.
And that's bad. Like, trust me, it's really
Cargo
bad
hold at maximum
when you're
capacity.
trying to. Basically, when you're trying to basically have like a fleet of viable decks, it
Yeah.
feels terrible when you're forced to be like, you're either playing these 4, like you're playing a playset of this card, or your deck is basically tier 3.
Pretty much.
Like, that feels awful. And don't get me wrong, I feel bad
Landing
who've
gear
bought
retracted.
into
Ship released. Engines
who's bought
engaged.
4 copies of Uro, and it's now is just and now is looking at the ban list going, well, shit, my cards are basically useless.
I think the argument there is you bought into this knowing full well that it was a really powerful card,
No, I agree with that.
and like you can't be upset that somebody finally said, "Wait, this is a problem. Why are we allowing this?"
4,
Because
3,
here's the fun thing.
1. Engage.
It's a common. I think the deck is that Uro for a creature with an ETB trigger is the combination of a Revitalize plus Growth Spiral from what's it called?
Fuel scooping.
You know?
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Yeah. Revitalize and Growth Spiral from Radical
So
Allegiance,
let me explain Revitalize and Growth Spiral for people who don't know. Growth Spiral is blue and a green for a instant. It is you draw a card and then you may play an extra land that turn. Revitalize is 1 and a white for an instant. Or no, I think it's a sorcery, is it?
It's an instant.
Oh, it's an instant. Okay. I don't play the card that often, so I don't remember I don't really remember it. You gain 3 life and you draw a card.
Oh man. Sorry about that.
At some point, like, I hate playing for me, if I ever play Revitalize in a deck, you know it's bad. You just know. It's going to be such a telltale sign that I'm just like, I'm not playing a good deck for a reason.
Yeah. I think it's viable. It's just like, you know,
I really
how
don't think so.
like as a card draw card, it's fine. There are better cards in those colors, especially if you get to Commander.
For Uro to combine Revitalize and like in a Growth Spiral for an extra mana is kind of insane. Like, I don't understand how. For me, I particularly don't understand how two relatively mediocre cards combined make for a better card.
Well, it's also the fact that it comes down on a stick.
Yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, the attacks portion is kind of
Red
shit.
thing.
Was kind of dumb. So I'll agree with that.
Yeah, like if it. Oh, I don't need that. If it had just been like you draw a card, get a land. Well, even then, like it's just like you could just slap down. If it was just you slap down a land and then this guy sacks himself, that'd be fine. Like that'd be. I would say that'd even be balanced because it's like you don't get the 6/6 automatically, and also there's a benefit slash drawback to playing him early game.
No, I agree.
Uh,
I agree
like
with you,
you
but
just
it's just the fact that you get that ability on not only on just an enter the battlefield trigger, but you also get that as as an attack trigger is kind of ridiculous.
yeah
Because
that
you're like, oh, I'll just throw away the 6/6, whatever, for like it's free value. It's a lot of power, a lot of toughness as well. And by the time
yeah.
you start swinging, you're so far ahead of the game it doesn't matter.
Oh, we only have 10 days for this event. I'm never getting there. Yeah, no, it's way too much value, and
Mhm.
you know, somebody should have been working in like I think it's quality control. It's a lack of quality control. It's
Well, this isn't like the first time this happened. Like I'll be honest with you. Like
no.
it's not on a scale to this. This is a pretty much near storm level. Like I'd say this is pretty high. Like if I was to put this on the storm scale, I'd say this is pretty high on the storm scale. This is like an 8 or a 9.
But there's a difference in design philosophy.
Yeah. The fact of the matter is that this was a design choice, not a mechanics choice. I can understand where they're coming from, but I still think the card was still dumb. And a lot of people would agree with me, I think.
Yeah. Good.
The other thing is just like the timing of this. Like it's February 10th. How long has it been since Theros?
At least a year. At least a
And
year.
they're batting it now.
Yeah, well, I can understand with the pandemic, but that's kind of where you lose.
I don't think that's
me
an excuse. I don't think a pandemic is an excuse here.
No, it's well, you would have been keeping you. Well, Watsy doesn't care about Arena. I'm gonna say it right now. They don't care about Arena. If they did care about Arena, there'd be a lot more focus on emphasis on figuring out the balance.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that they've kind of let it be has been telling that they don't actually really care about it.
Yeah.
It's kind of a way for them to make money. And I think when you go digital with your with anything, you have to be willing to kind of look at it and be like, okay, well, what are some of the major concerns that are gonna emerge from this over time?
Yeah. And that like that's one of the major things that really bugs me about this is that you can't just you can't just it's not that you can't build a card again. Yeah, I'm 85 to 90% sure if this is becoming the benchmark for creatures coming down the pipeline, which I really freaking hope it doesn't. I really hope it doesn't, because there's no particular reason why we should have a creature like that. But
Yeah.
if this is becoming the precedent of creatures coming down the pipeline, I can't see myself playing with a lot of these creatures in formats because
Oh.
it's blatantly obvious that it's good. It's just blatant.
Yeah.
Like, sure, we slept on. There's like a bunch of other cards that we slept on that we're probably sleeping on, but it's like comparing that to something like an Uro to an Oko or to something that's like. Well, actually, no. I'm gonna take. Actually, I'm gonna take Oko off that list. We slept on Oko. We actually really slept on Oko. We really didn't know. Like, we really didn't know that Oko was broken until we would actually start playing with it. Uro, like Croxa, I would put Croxa on the same power level as as Uro, but he's just not. It doesn't seem like it's impactful, but it's actually quite impactful.
Yeah.
But like, if that's the level of creatures coming down the pipeline, it's gonna push a lot of creatures out. That's the problem. That's what I don't like. Is that in a format like Commander, or like a format, like in a format where I'd say Modern is it's getting close to Legacy at this rate because the price tags are getting kind of both getting kind of ridiculous for decks. Like Legacy is already ridiculous for decks for deck price. Like, it's near 10 grand. I think it's retarded. They're asking prices now. But if you're looking to basically do that kind of a creature in this long term, I think the health of this game is really going to go down. I don't think it's dead. Like, I'm pretty sure for people who play Commander, oh, this is a godsend for them. They don't care. Give us all the new cards we want. We don't care. It's just a bit ever expanding god pool of like decks that we just get to build. We're like, whatever, cool. Oh, new broken looking Commander that's super dumb in 60 cards. So let's see what it does in 100. Oh, look, it's not as good as it looks. Like, I think the mentality of Commanders is in Commander is so nonchalant that it, like, we look at something like Uro and Oko and like we shake our fist a little bit at Urza. But that's just because some people are freaking assholes. That's more of a rule 0 thing than a power level thing. I can't blame the card. I'll blame the player before I blame the card on that one. But like, you see like an Uro or a Croxa or something like that where it comes down like really early and it gives you like a little bit of it gives you value, but it's not like super good. I can understand that. Like, blue-green decks are just gonna be good. Like, blue-green has two things, in my opinion, that makes blue-green solid: ramp and card draw. And like, you got basically the control elements of blue, with the hard-hitting, like, unstopping power of green. The only sacrifice you have to make is your early game, and even then, your early game is just, oh, here, let me play turn 1 elf go.
Yeah.
Like, you're gone. You're on 3 mana by turn 2. So, really, I have no problems playing blue-green in Commander because of Rule 0. Like, it's a Rule 0 thing. Like, I'm not... If I see a table of kids at a Commander at like a Command Fest or something, I'm not gonna run over there with my most powerful deck and fucking stomp their ass. Like, why? There's no reason for it. They want to have a good time. I want to go have a good time. I'll play something dumb. Like, I'll play freaking Hannah and watch them. They're like, oh, all my creatures get extra value because they keep bouncing in and out of the battlefield. Thanks, man. Like, they're gonna have a blast. And does it matter to me if if they're having fun, if they're having a blast and I lose the game, no, I don't care.
Yeah.
Does it matter to me if they're like, oh no, he's gonna combo off, be careful, and I lose, and I go, and I lose because I draw myself out.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I think it's gonna be hilariously funny because I honestly they're just gonna be like, you just lost the game. I'm like, yeah, I did, but why? Because I wanted to. Because I have that much power to me. Like that's the best part is not. Like, and and that's the beauty of it is if I wanted to go run and play comp, I'll go run and play comp like the big boys. Like
Yep.
if I wanted to play dumb, silly Magic where we sit there for 2 hours laughing about what dumb shit just
Landing gear
happened,
retracted.
I could do that too.
Yeah. No, it's do what you want kind of thing at this point.
So really, I have no qualms. Or I have no qualms playing of obviously dumb cards. I just understand the fact that, hey, things happen, and we're all playing for fun.
Yeah.
Like,
Frameshift drive.
I bet you dollars to donuts right now if Kevin and I wanted to meet up, we bring friends along, whatever. We sit down on the table of four in like the middle of downtown after grabbing some McDonald's or whatever, and we just pull out the dumbest decks that we possibly have on hand
Engage.
and just play a game because we're just that level of bored. I bet you $20 we do it.
Yeah.
Like 30 below or not. If we really wanted to go play a game, we'd do it.
I kind of want to play some games now.
I feel that.
Yeah, it's definitely something on my mind. So,
But yeah,
I mean,
to justify the cause here, I understand the bannings for modern for the formats, but the fact that if I and I'll be frankly honest, I don't see another banning. I don't see a banning for Commander for a while.
no. There's nothing really. There's no real reason to do it.
There's nothing like. There's no real like really annoying threat right now. Like, yeah, Thassa's Oracle's annoying, but it's just like that's because let's be honest, nobody really has an answer to it, and the answers really stifle. So, or you just countered the damn thing. Like, I don't know. It's not hard. It's just I think a lot of people are just like not understanding what the cards do, what their own cards do,
Yeah.
and saying that something is is broken. When it's
Yeah.
really
No.
not.
Thoracle's. Well, it is a really powerful card.
It is.
First-
No, for 2 mana, of 2 mana 1/3 that basically lets you win the game if your deck's small enough. Yeah.
Um, but I think power level wise, it's. I don't know. It's on the level, but it's sort of not.
I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth banning. There's so many cards that are higher up on that list before the Oracle nowadays.
Yeah. And the thing with is like the one combo that it really worked in is now just kind of dead in the water. Like nobody plays it because,
Here's one, like Windfall into Hullbreacher.
oh yeah, like
That's so dumb.
really- yeah.
You dump you're down to like 2 cards. You play down the stack Flashing Hullbreacher. They have to kill the Hullbreacher before they deal.
Well, this touches upon a thing we actually discussed a while back. Is
I think this was like off podcast too, so I think we can mention it. Yeah.
yeah, because we mentioned a while back that I actually brought it up too. Hull Breacher, um, the free spells like defecting SWAT, Fierce Guardianship. For those who don't know, deflecting SWAT, Fierce Guardianship, all those Ikoria cards, uh, they basically have a stipulation of
You have to
if
have a
you have a
commander deployed.
commander out.
Hmm.
Yeah. And in a game of Commander, that's not hard. So meeting that stipulation is already like, unless your commander is like 12 mana and you can never cast it type of thing, it's like, well, okay, guess I cast my commander, then I hold up a counter forever.
Yeah.
Um, but Hull Breacher, Opposition Agent, and those free spells should never have been in the same same year. And that was kind of my take
True.
at the time. Yeah,
I can understand
that was
why. Like I can understand why. Like they had to sell sets with some cards, but it's just like we.
Landing gear deployed.
It's understandable if they needed to sell a set, but it's just like the fact that they're just obviously good commander cards. It's just like okay, cool, thanks.
yeah. Well, it's the fact that they are so powerful, and then you have to kind of like build, like they're they're uh they're an auto include.
Hmm.
Like you're never gonna run into a situation where they're not relevant.
Right. Yeah, that's true. And that's the thing that scares me the most about this is where if you ever see um if you ever see the fact that or if you ever see things that are uh that low, like or basically cards that powerful, like you don't have to play them. That's like the one thing that I'll tell people right now, like straight out of the gate, no hedge, like full
Yeah.
hedge. You don't have to play the card. You don't have to like run around and be like, "Oh, I have to play this card. It's a commander staple." No, it's not. Like I people when people say command like, "Oh, it's a commander staple," like when they see a new card and they're like, "Oh, it's a commander staple." I'm like, "No, it's not. If it's a colored card, it's not a commander staple."
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like remember the blue black the blue black Asha from Warren Spark?
Yeah.
Nobody's running. When they saw that, nobody ran around screaming, "Oh, it's a commander staple! Oh, it's a commander staple!" Because it's not. It's in two colors.
I think it works viably as a commander staple is a problem.
I think the definition
Um,
of commander staple is grossly overrated.
I mean, you're not wrong. Um, like that's the thing. Staples are going to be cards that you're always gonna run them no matter what. Do you always want to see them? Not particularly.
No.
Which actually kind of brings up a point about Momentous Fall for me because I run it in every green deck, and I don't think I should be running it in every green deck. Anyways, but yeah, no,
It is what it is,
it
man.
comes, yeah, it kind of comes down to how much do you want to kind of, I guess, dedicate to deck space, right?
Yeah. And and that's the thing. That's the thing for me, is that if here's in my particular list, and this is not in any sort of order at all. Like this is kind of just coming off the top of my head. The things that are a staple for me are dual lands of some kind. I don't care which, whatever. some sort of suite of dual lands for an EDH deck. It doesn't matter to me. A good it's good land ramp. So that could be mean anything really. That's like for me. It's like cultivate Kodama's Reach for me. Um, I don't know if that changes anywhere else. I think a solid a good 5-drop creature that presents a good defensive threat. I think is a good staple in a good deck in every deck.
Yeah.
Like the reason okay, so here's the thing. The problem with me and saying some things are staples, some things are not, is I can't particularly name a specific card, right? For me, it's not things that are not considered that are staples to me are things of categories, not things of cards directly. And I think that's where the misconception comes from for me is that oh, you have to play this, you have to play that is just I look at that and I'm like, no, I don't. When I see a new card that comes out and it's a new staple, I'm like, no, not really. Because I'm thinking in my head, what does this card do? Oh, cool! You get a treasure token when one of your creatures attacks. Okay, that's cool. Is that a staple? No. You get that's temporary ramp. That doesn't mean anything to me. Like, and that's why I think the term staple is so subjective. Is just because of that reason. Is you can't if you can justify playing it, then that's fine. But if you're just running around and looking every single powerful card and calling everything a staple, that I lose. You're watering down the term staple.
Well, I think for Magic, kidneys. I think I think the application of staple in Magic is whatever works in that color, whatever's like a real advantage maker. And not everything in Commander is an advantage maker. There are some things that are just like, well,
Yeah.
like Mangara, for example. I'll live and die by that being a big card for white because it's just like, well, every opponent's going to cast at least 2 spells a turn. That's a given.
Yeah.
But also, sometimes opponents will feel like you're a big enough threat that they have to swing at you full bodies. So, if they swing you top deck a Settle the Wreckage, that's suddenly their entire board's gone.
Yep. And I have no problem sitting in there across the table from somebody with a Settle the Wreckage and they want to alpha strike me.
Yeah, like it's they're doing it at their own peril.
Yeah.
Um.
Now here's the fun kicker. Would you consider Settle the Wreckage a staple? I'm gonna flip the script on you here.
No, I wouldn't consider it a staple. I would not 100. There are reasons to run it, especially if you're not creatures heavy or you're not combat heavy. But I would not consider it a staple on the basis that there's never an always situation where it's viable. For me, stuff like Soul Ring is a staple because you're always going to want mana. You're
Mhm.
not always gonna want to see mana, but you're always gonna want mana because more mana is more stuff to cast.
And
That's why early.
I'll agree with you there. I think we're on the same page on that. Because what is mana? Like what does mana do for us as players? It equals more spells.
Yeah.
The for that to be correct, otherwise for me would just mean, hey, I think that I honestly think that if that was to apply to anything else, I like for me I would put the reason why Arcane Signet is yes a staple, yes, but yes it's a staple, but no, it kind of isn't. Is in the same category because it's in the same category as like a Cultivate or Kadama's Reach or a Rampant Growth for that matter. But I don't see them as like permanently fixed.
Yeah.
Like do people like not tend to not touch artifacts because people want to still play the game? Yeah, of course, tenfold. But I I can't I don't feel like I can reliably just sit there and reliably sit and say, hey, you know, I can rely on this. Because you can rely on a soul ring once you get it down. Like if you get a soul ring down early, you can rely on that thing for the rest of the game until somebody blows it up. And it's the part. The thing is, I think Soul Ring and Arcane Signet are in a similar camp due to the fact that they fulfill a very specific purpose.
Yeah.
To generate mana that is more than what your lands can provide. And that's not a bad, like, I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I'm saying that as a, hey, yes, that it's understandable that this card is good. You don't need to tell me. I kind of already know.
Yeah.
So, in in no hesitation, and in full, in respect to people, it's understandable to say, hey, this is a staple, but I would like to, the thing I would like to say is I would love to hear the reasoning. Because you can't
Yeah.
just, I think where people get misunderstood is just like, oh, this is a staple. I'm like, why? Oh, because it is. I'm like, that's
Yes.
not a
But
reason.
why?
Like, again, I'm gonna pressure you on this one. Like, why? Why is this a staple? Like, you know,
Yeah. Yeah. We kind of that kind of got away from us there
that's fine.
for a bit.
That's what this podcast is about, really.
Yeah.
It,
Um.
we like this is like a really good tangential podcast. Wow, that was hard.
Yeah.
That should have not been that difficult to say. The
Sometimes it is.
Yeah, and that's understandably so. But all right, so let's start wrapping things up here.
Yeah.
I would like to say before we go out the door, as we're going out the door, I will be doing some content on Instagram for cosplay
Yeah.
purposes. If you want to check that out, I will have a link. If you are watching this on Twitch, thank you so much for watching this on Twitch. You guys are fantastic. The host, we got a raid. We actually got raided, by the way.
Did we?
Yeah, we did.
Oh damn.
I just gotta find the name here. I gotta thank Admiral Memo for the raid. Big old party coming in from Admiral Memo's stream. Thank you so much. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, we do stream these lives on Twitch at twitch.tv/redphoenixcast. The link will be in the description. All the links that will be put into today's talk, which was the secret lair and the bans are restricted list, will be in the description once I put the thing up. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna do that either later today or tomorrow. Might be tomorrow. Don't quote me on it. It's not gonna be an exact. I have words about this pandemic, but I don't want to say them because it's kind of a hot take and we don't have the time because we're pushing like 10 minutes before 2 hours. So stay safe. Do whatever needs to be done. I don't care. Kevin, you have anything you want to push out?
A couple things. So I tried to get in contact with Kovshinov Ilya on Patreon there. Basically trying to get somebody to do illustrations for my book. I am writing a book. You can find me. Actually, I'll have Jojo link it. We're going into chapter 18, and it's just like, yeah. So I thought missing 3 weeks was gonna be because I did take 3 weeks away for just getting moved out of my old place and stuff. I'll post that in the Discord. You can post it in the YouTube.
Yeah,
But I took
I'll
three.
definitely slap that in there as well.
Yeah, so I took 3 weeks away for getting moved out, all that stuff. Of my old place, and it's just like it. Living there was mentally draining to the point where I just stopped full work on my books. I'm just like um but yeah, I checked it and I'm like, huh, we're on 17 chapters and I'd planned only to do a chapter a week. So we're kind of ahead of schedule. So I could probably take 2 weeks off if I wanted to and be like, but for now it's just like I'm gonna continue work because why not? But yeah, I tried to get in contact with this guy. I don't know if he speaks English or what. Hopefully he does. I'll give him a couple more days here just to see if he replies. If not, I'm moving on. But yeah, that's something I've been looking at. Um, Made mac and cheese yesterday, and I personally thought it was a little bit bland, but my roommate thinks it was great. So different strokes, I guess. I don't know. But yeah. So posted my book there in the Discord. We'll get Jojo to put it up on the YouTube for linking. I think that's about it.
Nice. Well, good luck on the book.
Yeah, thank you.
And you guys have been fantastic. I'll see you guys next week for another episode of the Red Phoenix casts. We still need to get a better title for this.
I think Red Phoenix Cast works.
It's
But
fine. I think there could be a better title, but that's just me. But yeah, this is the show. This is the way.
it is indeed the way.
It is indeed the way.
Arrivederci.